Hi, I'm Carol Hoffman and welcome to Carol's Keto Cooking Class. I would appreciate it if you would subscribe to my channel, and if you like the video, if you would please select the like button. Thank you very much. Hi, I'm Carol Hoffman and welcome to Carol's Keto Cooking Class. Today I'm going to be making keto lasagna. I'll be using Natural Heaven's Hearts of Palm noodles. I'll be using no sugar added pasta sauce. In a half a cup of the sauce, there's about 8 net grams and about 6 teaspoons of sugar. I'll be using mozzarella cheese, Parmesan cheese. I'll be using 2 cups of ricotta cheese. I'm going to be using ground beef and sausage for my meat sauce. And there's various spices that I'll be using as well, and I'll explain those as I go along. All right, I have my pan ready to cook my meat in. I've turned the burner onto 4 and I'm going to add olive oil. The 4 is considered medium. And to this, I'm going to add a teaspoon of minced garlic and about 1/4 cup of chopped onions. And I'm going to saute these before I add in the meats. The onions and the garlic have been sauteed, and I'm ready to add my meat. And it is perfectly safe to cook ground beef along with pork sausage in the same pan. All right, I'm doing a close-up here of the meat. It's already browned, and it's ready to add the sauce to it. I do want to make a correction on what I told you about the no sugar added sauce. There are 8 net carbs in a half a cup, which is correct. But I said there were 6 teaspoons of sugar in half a cup, which is not correct. It is actually 6 grams of sugar in 1/2 a cup. So I want to make sure I made that clear before you went and purchased this sauce. And any sauce will work that has no sugar added on it. So now I'm going to add the pasta sauce. And I'm going to use about 1 cup of water. And I'm going to shake that up real good to get every bit of that good sauce out of here. And to that, I'm going to add about 2 heaping teaspoons of Italian seasoning. And if you like, you can add a little more water to it. I think 1 cup will be enough, but you could add up to another half to maybe a full cup if you like, but I like my sauce a little bit on the thick side. So now that we've stirred this up really good and incorporated all the seasonings, we're going to let this simmer for about 20 minutes or so. All right, now we're going to start on our ricotta sauce. I'm using 2 cups of ricotta cheese. And to that, I'm going to add about 1 cup of mozzarella cheese. And I am a caterer and I have taken all the safety courses. So saying that, sometimes I use my hands when I handle my foods and so forth. But I constantly wash my hands. That's what you always do when you're a caterer. Every time you touch something, every time you start a new project, you always wash your hands very well in between. And this will help your own family so you don't get different sicknesses like the flu or anything else. So just make sure you wash your hands constantly in between everything you touch. So I'm going to add about 2 teaspoons of Italian seasoning. I'm going to add a little bit of salt and pepper. I'm going to add a little bit of garlic powder and a little bit of onion powder. One of those times when I can use my fingers because they are very clean. And I'm going to use parsley. Now, one thing about parsley, it does lose its color. It turns kind of a darkish, lighter green, not really a pretty green. And as you can see, this is very pretty right now. So if you keep your parsley in the refrigerator, that will help it to maintain its beautiful, lush green color. So now I'm going to mix all this together. And while I'm doing this, I'm also going to add 2 eggs. So we're going to incorporate this really well because we want this to be very smooth and very creamy. And this is what we're going to use in our layers for the lasagna. Alright, now we're ready to put our lasagna together. For the base of the lasagna, we're going to spoon in some of the meat here. And in this size pan, I'm going to say maybe 2 cups of sauce. And if you notice my meat, it is not very greasy. I always use 90% lean ground beef in my lasagna. And I did use a ½ pound of sausage, so that adds a little bit of grease to it, but it's not that much. So as you can see, my meat looks really nice. It's not that, I didn't have to drain it, which is really a plus when you're making this. So after you do that, I'm going to use the hearts of palm noodles, and they're kind of like a fiber. And yes, I'm using my hands again, but I have thoroughly washed my hands before I came over here to use this. And you just lay these down like you would lasagna noodles. Now, I know you can use zucchini noodles to do the same thing. These are a lot thinner, and they don't give as much flavor or odd flavor to the lasagna as zucchini does. Zucchini has such a taste of its own that it really gives it a lot of taste of the lasagna with the zucchini noodles. So I just lay those in there. Then you put your cheese on top of this. Just spoon some cheese on here. And you smooth it around. Make sure that we get this cheese all on this. This is really good cheese. With all the spices and flavoring you put in it, it's going to make this lasagna heavenly. Okay, so we put on, I believe, enough of the cheese mixture on here. So now we're going to add more meat to it. Now we're going to add another layer of the hearts of palm. As you can see, it is filling this casserole dish up pretty well. Now when I purchased this, I had to get this from Amazon, and it came in a set of 5 boxes. So I wasn't sure if I was ever going to be using that many boxes. But this is the last box of the 5. My husband likes it. To be honest, I could do without these. I like the flavor of just the meat and the cheese, so I'm going to, sometime in the future, make the lasagna without any kind of noodles or vegetables or anything. And I'm just going to use meat and cheese and layer it and see how it turns out. I think it'll be just as good. So again, you want to spread your cheese sauce everywhere. Cheese mixture. So I'm going to have to make this a little bit thinner. I think we can make that spread out a little bit better there. Then last, we add more of the meat sauce. You don't have to have a whole lot here because this is just the topping. Then on top of this, I'm going to add shredded mozzarella cheese. I know it looks a little messy, but it's going to be delicious. Now, I'm using my hands because my hands are very clean. They've been washed very thoroughly. I'm going to top this off. Put a good coating on here. Just love mozzarella cheese on my lasagna. And what we're going to do, we're going to cover it with foil, and we're going to bake it at about 350 for maybe 40-45 minutes or so. And then we'll be able to take it out of the oven and enjoy it. Alright, here is our finished product, our keto lasagna made with hearts of palm noodles and no sugar added pasta sauce. I'd appreciate it if you would like the video if you did enjoy this, and also if you would subscribe to my YouTube channel, Carol's Keto Cooking Class. Thank you.